Welcome to our web class. Our topic is the nature and functions of social science disciplines for quarter 1, week 1 to 2. So by the end of this topic, you are expected to differentiate the nature and functions of social science disciplines with the natural sciences and humanities, and also you will understand how social sciences explore human behavior and societal structures. So first, social science is a study of society. So social science is the study of human society and social relationships. So it focuses on understanding how societies function, how individuals interact with them, and how social structures and institutions influence behavior. So understanding society, of course, social science help us understand complex issues such as unemployment, here, economic growth, voting, rule following, social inclusion, inequality, culture diversity, and happiness. So it provides insights into how societies work and addresses social problems. So also it informs decision makings. So it provides valuable information for governments, for policymakers, NGOs, the local authorities to make informed decisions and create effective policies. So for example, if policymakers understand the reasons behind social inequality, they can develop targeted programs to address it and improve the overall well-being of society. So next we have here the main concerns and historical origins. Okay, so it focuses on human society, groups, relationships, institutions, and material goods. So it focuses on understanding human behavior, social interactions, and the functioning of social institutions. So social science emerged in the 19th century with pioneers like Emil Durkheim and Auguste Comte. Okay, so they laid the groundwork for a systematic study of society. And unlike the natural sciences, social science studies are classified by perspective, for example, psychological, sociological, rather than by specific subject matter. Another example is the study of social interactions in institutions helps us understand phenomena like voting patterns and family structures. Next, we have the methods and limitations of social science as study of society. So for methods, here we have observation, so watching and recording behaviors in natural settings. We also have experiments, so conducting controlled studies to test hypotheses. We also have here other methods like interviews, surveys, and case studies. So for interviews and surveys, it's collecting data from individuals about their thoughts and experiences. And of course, for case studies, we have in-depth analysis of individual or group cases. So for limitations, we have here the interpretative nature of findings. So findings may be influenced by the researcher's perspective and interpretation. The second one, we have here complexity of controlling single variables. So it is very difficult to isolate and control single variables due to the complexity of social phenomena. We also have here ethical issues, so ethical concerns about privacy and consent in research. The last one we have here, financial constraints. So this is limited resources for extensive research. Next, we have here the disciplines of social science. We have anthropology, the economics, geography, history, linguistics, political science, and psychology. So first, we will discuss the anthropology. So anthropology is the study of humans, their ancestors, and culture. So it seeks to understand human diversity, culture, and evolution. So the cultural understanding for this is that it explores cultural practices and human evolution. There are different branches of anthropology. We have here cultural anthropology, so studies cultural practices and norms. We have here physical anthropology, so it examines human biological and evolutionary development. Also, archaeology, it investigates past human societies through material remains. And we have here linguistic anthropology, so it analyzes language and its role in culture. So for example, archaeologists uncover ancient artifacts to learn about early human civilizations and their way of life. So next we have here the second discipline is we have our economics. So economics is the study of how goods and services are produced, consumed, and distributed. So it analyzes economic activities and guides policy decisions. So it evaluates economic behavior and policy implications. So the branches for economics, we have here microeconomics, macroeconomics, development economics, international economics, and labor economics. So for microeconomics, it focuses on individual and business economic behavior. For macroeconomics, it looks at the overall economy, including inflation and employment. Also, for development economics, it studies economic growth in developing countries. In international economics, we have here examines global trade and finance. The last one, we have here labor economics. It studies or investigates labor markets and wages. So for example, macroeconomists analyze national economic indicators like GDP and unemployment rates to assess the economy's health. The next one we have geography. So geography is the study of Earth's landscapes, environments, and the relationships between people and their environment. So it understands spatial relationships and environmental changes. So the branches for this, we have here physical geography. So it studies natural features and processes. We have here human geography. It examines human activities and their environmental impact. Geographical information systems, or what we call the GIS. So it focuses on spatial data and mapping technologies. The last one, we have here environmental geography. So it looks at interactions between people and their environment. So example, geographers use here GIS to map urban development and analyze its impact on the natural resources. The next discipline we have here history. So it is the study of past events and their impact on the present and future. So it provides context and significance of past events. So here we have here ancient history. So it examines early civilizations. We have here medieval history. So it focuses on the Middle Ages. Modern history. So it covers the period from the Renaissance to the present. Also contemporary history, so it's study of recent events and current historical trends, of course. Also, we have here economic history, so it studies on the development of economic systems over time. So for example, historians analyze the causes and effects of significant events like the Industrial Revolution to understand their impact on modern society. The fifth one, we have here linguistics. So it is the study of language, its structure, and its impact on communication. So it investigates language development, usage, and changes, of course. The branches we have here, or fields, we have here phonetics. So it studies speech sounds and their production. Phonology, it examines sound systems in languages. We have here morphology. It analyzes word structure. Syntax focuses on sentence structure and grammar. Semantics studies meaning in language. And we have here social linguistics. So it looks at language use in social context. For example, linguists study how different languages structure sentences to understand linguistic diversity and communication patterns. So next we have here political science. So it is a study of political systems, government structures, and political behavior. So it examines political processes, policies, and power dynamics. And for the branches, we have here comparative politics. It compares different political systems. In international relations, it studies global interactions and issues. For political theory, it explores political ideas and philosophies. Also, for public administration, of course, it analyzes policy implementation and management. And the last one we have here, policy studies. So it focuses on policy development and analysis. So for example, political scientists analyze election results to understand voter behavior and its impact on the political outcomes. So the seventh one, we have here psychology. So psychology is a study of the mind and behavior, including mental processes and emotional states. So it understands mental health, behavior, and cognitive processes. So the branches we have here, clinical psychology. So it focuses on mental health issues and therapy. And also cognitive psychology, it studies mental processes like perception and memory, also problem solving. Developmental psychology, so this examines psychological growth and growth throughout life. So for social psychology, it analyzes how social environments influence what? Influence behavior. And for the industrial organizational psychology, it studies behavior in workplace settings. So for example, clinical psychologists here work with individuals to address mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. So that is very common. In next one, we have here sociology. So it is a study of society, social behavior, and social institutions. So it examines social interactions, structures, and changes. So for the social theory, it explores concepts explaining social phenomena. Social research, so it focuses on methods. On what? Methods for collecting and analyzing social data. Sociology for education, so it studies educational systems and their social or societal impact. And for the sociology of family, it analyzes family structures and dynamics. For urban sociology, it examines social implications of urban environments. So it also have approaches. So first, we have here structural functionalism. It focuses on the functions and stability of social institutions. For conflict theory, it emphasizes power, inequality, and social change. And the last one we have here is symbolic interactionism. So it studies social interactions and meaning. So for example, sociologists investigate how urbanization affects social relationships and the community structures. So the last one we have here, demography. So demography is the study of population dynamics, including size, distribution, and trends. And for the population analysis, it analyzes changes in population and their implications. So the branches we have here, population statistics. So it examines statistical data related to populations. Population dynamics, it studies trends in population size and structure. While population policy, it looks at policies affecting population growth and distribution. For the fertility studies, we have here, it investigates what? The birth rates and reproductive factors. Also, we have here mortality studies. So from the word mortality, of course, it analyzes death rates and causes of mortality. Demography has also fields. We have here formal demography and social demography. So for formal demography, it focuses on measuring population processes, while the social demography, it analyzes how economic, social, cultural, and biological processes influence population. So for example, demographers use statistical models to predict future population trends and their impact on resources and infrastructure. So we will proceed with the natural science. So we will tackle first the overview of definitions, origins, branches, methods, and limitations. So natural sciences are academic disciplines that study natural phenomena through empirical and systematic methods. So they used observation, experimentation, and analysis to understand the principles and processes governing the physical world. So, from Leodox, we have here disciplines that deal only with natural events. So, independent and dependent variables in nature using scientific methods. So, it focuses on natural events, distinguishes natural science from social science. Okay, so for the origin of natural science, we have here, so the birth of natural sciences is often linked to the Renaissance period when thinkers like Nicholas Copernicus and Galileo Galilei pioneered systematic methods of inquiry and challenging existing beliefs and laying the groundwork for modern science. So here, we have here it discovers laws that govern the natural world. So the main concern of natural science is to explain natural and environmental phenomena through systematic investigation and analysis. So there are two branches of natural science. We have here life science and physical science. So first we will tackle life science or the biological science. So it studies life in all its form, both past and present. So it includes forms of life, including plants, animals, viruses, bacteria, single-celled organisms, cells. So specific examples of this are the botany. Botany is researching plant adaptations. We have the zoology. So zoology is studying animal behavior and migrations. Next, we have here physical science. So it is a systematic study of the inorganic world, including physics, astronomy, chemistry, and earth science. So for physics, it investigating matter and energy such as studying gravitational waves. For astronomy, it explore on celestial phenomena such as star formation. We also have here chemistry, so it examines matter and reactions, including environmental chemistry. The last one we have here, earth science, so it is studying earth and space such as geology, which is analyzing rock formations and volcanic activity. We also have meteorology, so it is predicting weather and studying climate change. We also have another example is oceanography. So it investigates marine ecosystems and ocean currents. So we also have here methods of natural science. So it employs systematic observation, measurement, and experimentation to understand natural phenomena. The second method we have here, mathematical method. So it is used to model and predict outcomes. Here, the last one is controlled experiments, so typical in physics and chemistry, but challenging in other fields like economics or sociology. Of course, we also have limitations of the natural science. First, we have technical boundaries and financial boundaries. So technical limitations include challenges in conducting precise measurement, right? In measuring certain phenomena precisely. And it overcome by innovations such as telescopes, microscopes, and other measurement instruments. So for financial boundaries, it can affect the scope and scale of research, such as the high cost for maintaining large-scale research facilities, just like this one, the CERN laboratory. Okay, so we also have differences between social science and natural science. So for social sciences, it arose about 300 years later, while natural sciences began in the 16th and 17th centuries. Social sciences deals with human subjects, while natural science deals with objects in the nature. For natural science, it is spontaneous, unpredictable, and of course, uncontrollable. So we cannot control about it. Natural sciences characterized by exactness, controlled variables, and predictability. So the two of these are very different. So social science uses experiential data and alternative methods, while natural sciences uses experimental data and repetitive lab experiments. And for social science, it is an open system, while natural science, it is closed system, so it doesn't interact. Okay? And if there are differences, also there will be commonalities between social science and natural science. So for a scientific model, they both employ scientific models to gain information. They also both use empirical and measured data discernible by the senses. And theories in both can be tested to yield theoretical statements and general positions. And the last one we have here, it both use a systematic approach to explain theories. So that will be all for this topic for the quarter 1 week 1 to 2.